The transport ship descended through purple clouds. Below, the planet Valdris Prime stretched endlessly. Metal cities gleamed like scattered diamonds across its surface. This was the heart of the Galactic Legion, the greatest military force in known space. Inside the cramped passenger bay, Lyra Chen gripped her seat harness. Her knuckles turned white. Around her, alien recruits filled every space. Towering reptilian Dravax warriors sharpened their claws. Four-armed Korath soldiers polished their weapons. A massive insectoid Vren clicked its mandibles, watching her with hundreds of tiny black eyes. Lyra was the only human aboard. "Look at that," a Dravax growled in the common tongue. His yellow eyes fixed on Lyra. "They actually sent a Terran. How pathetic." His companion laughed, a sound like grinding stones. "Humans are weak. Fragile bones. Soft skin. No claws, no armor, no venom. What use are they?" Lyra kept her eyes forward. She had heard this before. Earth had joined the Galactic Council only 5 years ago. Humans were newcomers. Untested. Dismissed. The transport shuddered as landing gear deployed. Through the viewport, Lyra saw the Legion Academy. It was enormous. Towers of black metal rose into the sky. Training grounds stretched for kilometers. Hundreds of ships sat in orderly rows, their weapons gleaming in the alien sun. The bay doors hissed open. Heat and noise flooded in. "All recruits, disembark," commanded a metallic voice. "Report to Processing Hall 7 immediately." The aliens moved first. They pushed and shoved, their massive bodies blocking the narrow exit. Lyra waited. When the crowd thinned, she grabbed her pack and stepped onto Valdris soil for the first time. The gravity was heavier here. Each step felt like carrying extra weight. Her legs trembled slightly, but she forced herself to walk normally. Show no weakness. That was the rule. Processing Hall 7 was chaos. Thousands of recruits filled the massive chamber. Holographic displays showed alien text in dozens of languages. Officers barked orders. Machines scanned bodies, checking for weapons or forbidden technology. Lyra joined the queue. In front of her, a Korath warrior stood nearly 3 meters tall. His forearms were thick with muscle. Behind her, a serpentine Sethrak hissed softly, its forked tongue tasting the air. "Next," called an officer. He was a Vren, his exoskeleton covered in military insignias. "Name and homeworld." "Lyra Chen," she said clearly. "Earth, Terran system." The officer's mandibles clicked together. He looked her up and down. Another human. Command must be desperate. He waved a clawed appendage. "Proceed to Medical Bay 3. Standard evaluation." The medical bay smelled of antiseptic and ozone. Alien doctors operated scanning equipment that hummed with energy. Lyra stood on a raised platform while beams of light swept over her body. "Bone density, low," announced a synthetic voice. "Muscle mass, below standard. Skin durability, minimal. Natural weapons, none detected. Conclusion, high mortality risk." The Vren doctor clicked in what might have been amusement. "Another fragile Terran. Why does command accept your kind?" Lyra said nothing. She had learned silence was safer than argument. After medical processing came equipment assignment. Lyra received standard combat armor, a plasma rifle, and a communicator. The armor was too large. The rifle felt heavy in her hands. But she strapped everything on and joined the flood of recruits heading to the dormitories. The barracks were massive halls filled with bunks. Aliens of every species claimed their spaces. Lyra found an empty bunk in a corner, away from the others. She set down her pack and sat heavily. Across the room, a group of Dravax watched her. One pointed. Another laughed. "Hey Terran," one called out. "Think you'll survive first combat training?" Lyra looked at him. His scales were dark green, his eyes cold and mocking. "I'll do my best," she said quietly. "Your best won't be enough," he said. "Humans always fail. You're too weak. Too slow. The galaxy has no place for prey species." The other aliens murmured agreement. Some laughed. Others simply stared at her with contempt. Lyra lay back on her bunk. She stared at the metal ceiling far above. Her body ached from the heavy gravity. Her mind spun with doubt and fear. Maybe they were right. Maybe humans didn't belong here. But then she remembered why she had come. Earth needed soldiers. The galaxy was dangerous. Hostile. If humanity wanted to survive, they needed warriors who could stand alongside aliens. Even if those aliens hated them. Lyra closed her eyes. Tomorrow training would begin. She would prove them wrong. Or die trying. The alarm screamed through the barracks at dawn. Red lights flashed across the ceiling. Alien voices shouted in dozens of languages. Recruits scrambled from their bunks, grabbing armor and weapons. Lyra jerked awake. Her body ached from the heavy gravity. She forced herself upright and pulled on her combat armor. Her fingers fumbled with the straps. Around her, aliens moved with practiced efficiency. "Move faster, Terran," barked a Korath nearby, "or you'll be left behind." Lyra grabbed her plasma rifle and ran. Outside, the training grounds stretched endlessly. The alien sun hung low and red in the sky. Thousands of recruits assembled in formation. Drill instructors prowled between the ranks. They were all veterans, scarred and hard. Commander Vex stood on a raised platform. He was a massive Dravax, his scales marked with battle scars. His voice boomed across the field without amplification. "Welcome to your first day," he growled. "Most of you will fail. Some of you will die. The Legion accepts only the strongest. The rest are worthless." His yellow eyes swept the crowd. They paused on Lyra for a brief moment. His lip curled, showing sharp teeth. "Today you face the gauntlet," Vex continued. "A combat simulation designed to break the weak. You will enter in squads of 10. You will face combat drones, hostile terrain, and each other. Only those who reach the extraction point survive." Murmurs rippled through the recruits. The gauntlet was legendary. Failure meant immediate expulsion. Or worse. "Squads are assigned randomly," Vex said. "Check your communicators. You have 5 minutes to assemble. Begin." Lyra looked at her wrist device. Squad 7. She moved through the crowd, searching for her teammates. When she found them, her heart sank. 9 aliens stared at her. Not one looked friendly. The largest was a Dravax named Krax. His scales were scarred, his claws filed sharp. "A human?" he snarled. "We're already down 1 soldier." "I can fight," Lyra said quietly. "You can die," corrected a serpentine Sethrak. Her name was Scylla. "Humans are fragile. Stay out of our way." The other squad members nodded. None offered introductions. None met her eyes. A transport arrived. The squad climbed aboard. Inside, the aliens checked their weapons and armor. They spoke in harsh tones, planning strategy. Nobody asked Lyra's opinion. The transport lifted off. Through the viewport, Lyra saw the training facility shrink below. They flew over barren mountains and toxic swamps. Finally, they descended into a massive arena. The doors opened. Heat and smoke rolled in. "Squads deploy," commanded the pilot. "Extraction point is 15 kilometers north. You have 2 hours. Good luck." Squad 7 dropped into knee-deep mud. All around them, the arena stretched like a nightmare landscape. Twisted metal structures rose from pools of acid. Combat drones hovered in the distance, their weapons glowing. The sky was dark with artificial storm clouds. "Move out," Krax ordered. "Tight formation. Watch for ambushes." The squad advanced. Lyra stayed at the rear, her rifle ready. Her heart pounded. Every shadow seemed dangerous. Every sound made her flinch. They had traveled barely 1 kilometer when the first attack came. Combat drones dropped from the sky. 6 of them, armed with plasma cannons. They fired without warning. The squad scattered. Energy bolts scorched the ground. 1 Korath took a direct hit and collapsed, armor smoking. "Return fire," Krax roared. The aliens shot back. Their weapons were accurate, powerful. 3 drones exploded in midair. But more kept coming. Lyra aimed carefully. Her rifle felt awkward, heavy. She squeezed the trigger. The shot went wide. "Useless," Scylla hissed. "I told you humans couldn't fight." Another drone swooped low. Lyra fired again. This time her shot connected. The drone's engine exploded. It crashed into the mud. But nobody noticed. The squad was already moving forward, leaving her behind. Lyra ran to catch up. Her boots sank in the mud. The heavy gravity made every step exhausting. Sweat poured down her face inside the helmet. Ahead, Krax led the squad into a narrow canyon. Metal walls rose on both sides. The path was dark, filled with shadows. "I don't like this," one alien muttered. "It's a trap." "Keep moving," Krax ordered. "We don't have time for." The explosion cut him off. The canyon walls erupted. Hidden charges detonated simultaneously. Metal shrapnel tore through the squad. 3 aliens fell instantly, their armor shredded. Lyra threw herself flat. The blast wave passed over her. When she looked up, the squad was scattered. Some were injured. Others were pinned down by drone fire from above. "Fall back," Krax shouted. Blood ran from a gash in his scales. "Retreat now." But there was nowhere to retreat. More drones appeared. They surrounded the canyon, weapons charging. Squad 7 was trapped. And they were all looking at Lyra like it was her fault. Plasma fire lit up the canyon. Drones circled overhead like mechanical vultures. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy. Squad 7 huddled behind broken metal debris, pinned down and bleeding. "We're dead," Scylla hissed. Her serpentine body coiled tight with fear. "There's no way out." Cracks fired blindly over the barrier. His shots went wide. "Shut up and keep fighting." Lyra pressed her back against the twisted metal. Her rifle was hot from continuous fire. Around her, the aliens were panicking. One Korath lay motionless, his forearms sprawled in the mud. Another alien clutched a bleeding wound, groaning. The drones tightened their circle. They were coordinating now, preparing for a final strike. Lyra's mind raced. She looked at the canyon walls. Too steep to climb. She looked at the drones. Too many to fight. She looked at her squad. They were experienced warriors, but fear had frozen them. "Listen," she shouted over the weapons fire. "The drones are using a network. If we overload it—" "Silence, human," Cracks snarled. "You know nothing about combat." "She's right," said a quiet voice. A Vren engineer named Tix clicked his mandibles. "The drones share a targeting system. If we create electromagnetic interference—" An explosion cut him off. A drone had fired directly at their position. The blast threw two aliens backward. One didn't get up. "We don't have time for plans," Silas screamed. "We need to surrender." "The Legion doesn't surrender," Cracks growled. But his voice shook. Lyra looked at her rifle. Standard plasma weapon. Then she looked at the power packs on the fallen aliens. An idea formed. Dangerous. Probably stupid. But it was their only chance. "Give me 30 seconds, she said. "For what?" Cracks demanded. "To save us." Lyra didn't wait for permission. She crawled to the nearest fallen soldier and grabbed his power packs. Then another. And another. She worked fast, ignoring the plasma bolts that scorched the ground near her head. "What is the Terran doing?" Scylla hissed. Lyra connected the power packs together. She overrode the safety protocols. The packs began to hum, building energy. Too much energy. They would explode in less than a minute. She stood up. Exposed. The drones immediately locked onto her. "Get down, you fool," Cracks roared. Lyra threw the connected power packs as hard as she could. They sailed through the air, spinning. The drones tracked the movement. Their targeting systems all focused on the same object. The packs detonated mid-air. The explosion was massive. But it wasn't the blast that mattered. It was the electromagnetic pulse. The energy wave rippled outward, invisible but devastating to electronics. Every drone fell from the sky at once. They crashed into the canyon floor, sparking and dead. Silence. The squad stared at the fallen machines. Then they stared at Lyra. "Move," she said quietly. "Before backup arrives." They moved. The squad reached the extraction point 40 minutes later. Other squads were already there, battered and bloodied. A transport waited, engines running. Cracks limped forward. His armor was scorched, his pride wounded. He glanced back at Lyra. For a moment, something like respect flickered in his yellow eyes. Then it was gone. "You got lucky, Terran," he muttered. "Don't expect it to happen again." Lyra said nothing. She was too exhausted to argue. The transport lifted off. Through the viewport, she watched the training grounds shrink below. They had survived. Barely. But something felt wrong. The other aliens were too quiet. They whispered among themselves, casting strange looks her direction. Back at the academy, Commander Vex waited on the landing platform. His massive frame blocked the exit. His expression was unreadable. "Squad 7, he growled. "Follow me." They followed him through corridors of black metal. Other recruits watched them pass. Some whispered. Others pointed. Vex led them to a secure hangar. Armed guards stood at every entrance. And in the center of the hangar sat a massive containment pod. It was 10 meters tall, wrapped in glowing energy fields. Warning symbols covered every surface. And inside the pod something moved. "Do you know what this is?" Vex asked. The squad said nothing. "This," Vex continued, "is a void predator. The most dangerous creature ever discovered. It has killed hundreds of trained soldiers. Torn through battle cruisers. Nothing can control it." The shape inside the pod moved closer to the energy field. Two eyes appeared in the darkness. They glowed like molten gold. And they were looking directly at Lyra. "It was captured 3 months ago on a dead world," Vex said. "Since then it has been studied. Test it. We hope to weaponize it. The creature pressed against the energy barrier. Its massive head became visible. Black scales, razor teeth, claws that could shred titanium. But something changed today, Vex said quietly. During your simulation, the creature became agitated. Violent. It nearly broke containment. He turned to look at Lyra. His yellow eyes narrowed. It was reacting to you, Terran? The void predator's golden eyes locked onto Lyra. And slowly, impossibly, the creature lowered its massive head. It bowed. The hangar fell silent. Every alien stared at the impossible sight. The void predator, the galaxy's apex killer, remained bowed before the human girl. Its golden eyes never left Lyra's face. This is impossible, whispered Tix. His mandibles clicked nervously. Void predators bow to no one. They are pure instinct. Pure violence. Commander Vex's claws scraped against the metal floor. Explain yourself, Terran. What did you do? Nothing, Lyra said. Her voice shook. I've never seen this creature before. Liar, Crax snarled. You must have used some human trick. Some technology. I don't have any technology, Lyra protested. She stepped backward, away from the containment pod. I'm just a recruit. The void predator lifted its head. A low rumble echoed from deep in its chest. Not a growl. Something else. Almost like recognition. Vex activated his communicator. Get me high command. Now. He turned to the guards. Seal this hangar. Nobody enters or leaves until we understand what's happening. The guards moved quickly. Blast doors slammed shut. Energy fields activated across every entrance. The squad was trapped inside with the creature. Scylla coiled tighter. I want out. Let me out now. Nobody leaves, Vex repeated. His voice carried absolute authority. This creature has killed Legion officers. If the Terran has some connection to it, we need to understand why. A holographic display flickered to life. A Seraph female appeared, her blue skin marked with command insignias. Commander Vex. Explain this emergency signal. General Tira, Vex said. The void predator is reacting to one of the human recruits. It bowed to her. The general's expression didn't change. Impossible. Void predators recognize only dominance. They submit to nothing. I witnessed it myself, Vex insisted. The creature has been docile since she arrived. General Tira was silent for a moment. Then she spoke carefully. Keep the human under observation. I'm dispatching a science team. If this connection is real, it changes everything. The hologram vanished. Lyra felt all eyes turn back to her. She wanted to disappear. To run. But there was nowhere to go. What are you? Scylla hissed. What kind of creature are humans really? I don't know, Lyra said honestly. I don't understand this any more than you do. The void predator moved again. It pressed its face against the energy barrier. Its breath created condensation on the field. The golden eyes studied Lyra with an intelligence that seemed almost human. Tix approached cautiously, his scanner active. Fascinating. The creature's heart rate has decreased. Its aggression hormones are minimal. It's completely calm. That proves nothing, Crax said. But his voice lacked conviction. Hours passed. The science team arrived. They were led by a tall Seraph named Dr. Valen. He wore no military uniform, only a white research coat. His eyes were cold and analytical. Bring the human closer to the containment pod, he ordered. That's dangerous, Vex warned. Everything about this situation is dangerous, Dr. Valen replied. But if we want answers, we need data. Lyra was pushed forward by armed guards. Her legs felt weak. The void predator watched her approach. Its massive body tensed, muscles rippling beneath black scales. Closer, Dr. Valen commanded. Lyra stopped 3 meters from the energy barrier. She could feel heat radiating from the field. And she could smell the creature now. Like ozone and blood and something ancient. Dr. Valen activated scanning equipment. Beams of light swept over both Lyra and the creature. Data scrolled across holographic screens. Remarkable, he muttered. There's a biosignature match. Partial but present. What does that mean? Vex demanded. Dr. Valen looked up. His expression was troubled. It means this human shares genetic markers with the void predator species. Not much. Perhaps 2 or 3%. But enough to trigger recognition response. How is that possible? General Tira's voice came through the communicator. Humans evolved on Earth. Void predators come from the Abyss sector. They've never encountered each other. I don't know, Dr. Valen admitted. But the data doesn't lie. Somehow, human DNA contains fragments of the predator genome. The hangar erupted in chaos. Aliens shouted questions. Guards raised weapons. Everyone backed away from Lyra as if she had become dangerous. This changes everything, General Tira said. Her voice cut through the noise. If humans carry predator DNA, they're not the prey species we believed. They might be predators themselves. Lyra's head spun. Predator DNA? That was insane. Humans were peaceful. They built civilizations, created art, valued life. They weren't monsters. But the void predator was still watching her. Still waiting. And deep inside, in a place she had never acknowledged, Lyra felt something stir. Something old. Something that recognized the creature before her not as a monster, but as kin. The energy barrier flickered. Warning, announced an automated voice. Containment field destabilizing. Cause unknown. Dr. Valen's eyes widened. Impossible. Those fields can hold a battle cruiser. The void predator pressed harder against the barrier. The golden eyes blazed brighter. And in Lyra's mind she heard something. Not words. Not sound. But meaning. Let me out. No, Lyra whispered. I can't. You must. We are the same. We are hunters. The barrier flickered again. Cracks appeared in the energy field. Evacuate the hangar, Vex roared. It's breaking free. Alarms screamed through the hangar. Red emergency lights bathed everything in blood-colored shadows. The containment field crackled and sparked as the void predator pushed against it with impossible strength. Get the Terran out of here, Vex commanded. Guards rushed forward to grab Lyra. But the moment they touched her, the void predator roared. The sound was deafening. It shook the metal walls. It vibrated through bone and flesh. Several aliens dropped to their knees, clutching their heads in pain. The containment field shattered. Energy exploded outward in a brilliant flash. When it cleared, the void predator stood free. 10 meters of pure killing machine. Its black scales absorbed the light. Its claws scraped furrows in the metal floor. And its golden eyes burned with ancient intelligence. Open fire, Vex shouted. Plasma bolts filled the air. They struck the creature's hide and ricocheted harmlessly away. The void predator didn't even flinch. It moved like liquid shadow, impossibly fast for something so large. One guard fired a rocket. The explosion engulfed the creature completely. Smoke and fire filled the hangar. Did we get it? Someone asked. The void predator emerged from the flames unharmed. It grabbed the nearest guard and threw him across the hangar. The guard crashed into a wall and didn't move. Panic erupted. Aliens ran for the exits. But the blast doors were sealed. They were trapped with the monster. Stay behind me, Krax grabbed Lyra's arm. Maybe we can. The void predator appeared in front of them. It moved so fast nobody saw it coming. Krax stumbled backward, his bravado gone. The creature could kill them all in seconds. But it didn't attack. Instead, it positioned itself between Lyra and everyone else. Its body became a living shield. A low growl rumbled in its chest, warning others to stay back. It's protecting her, Tix whispered. By the stars, it's actually protecting her. Vex raised his weapon. If I can't kill it, I'll kill the Terran. That might stop it. No. The word came from Lyra. Her voice was different now. Deeper. Resonant. She stepped out from behind the void predator. You won't hurt anyone else. Stand down, recruit, Vex ordered. That's a direct command. I said no. Lyra placed her hand on the void predator's flank. The creature's scales were warm beneath her palm. She felt its heartbeat. Strong. Steady. And somehow, familiar. In her mind, the voice spoke again. You are waking up. Finally. What are you? Lyra whispered. I am what you could become. What your species once was before you forgot. Dr. Valen stepped forward cautiously, his scanner still active. Incredible. The Terran's biosignature is changing. Her DNA is restructuring. What does that mean? General Tira demanded through the communicator. It means the dormant predator genes are activating, Dr. Valen said. His voice shook with excitement and fear. She's transforming. Lyra looked at her hands. Her fingernails were longer now, sharper, almost like claws. Her skin felt different, tougher, and her senses were suddenly overwhelming. She could hear every heartbeat in the room, smell fear on the aliens, see in perfect detail even in the dim light. This isn't possible, she said. I'm human. Just human. You were never just human, the voice replied. Humans are survivors. Apex predators who conquered a death world. You carry that legacy in your blood. Earth isn't a death world, Lyra protested. It's our home. The void predator made a sound like laughter. Your planet has killed more species than any war. Your oceans have monsters in their depths. Your land has predators that hunt in packs. Your very air carries invisible killers. And humans survived it all. Dr. Valen's scanner beeped rapidly. Her physical structure is changing. Bone density increasing. Muscle fibers strengthening. Sensory organs enhancing. She's becoming something between human and void predator. Stop this, Vex commanded. Whatever process is happening, stop it now. I don't think we can, Dr. Valen admitted. The transformation appears to be natural. Lyra felt power flowing through her body. Her weak muscles suddenly felt strong. Her uncertain fear suddenly felt like confidence. And the heavy gravity that had exhausted her now felt comfortable. Natural. She looked at the void predator. Really looked at it. And she understood. You're not from another world, she said quietly. You're from Earth. From our past. Yes, the voice confirmed. Millions of years ago, before humans walked upright, we ruled Earth. We were the apex predators. But the planet changed. We evolved differently. Some became what you call dinosaurs. Others became what you call mammals. And a very few, left Earth to hunt among the stars. The void predators are Earth's ancient predators, Lyra whispered. And humans carry their DNA. That's insane, Crack said. But his voice lacked conviction. Dr. Valen checked his data again. Actually, it explains everything. Why void predators and humans share genetic markers. Why they respond to her. Why Earth produced such a dangerous species. General Tira's voice was cold. If humans carry predator DNA, then they're not a peaceful species. They're a threat. We're not a threat, Lyra said. We chose peace. We chose civilization over violence. But the choice is always yours, the void predator said. You can be prey. Or you can be predator. The hangar doors suddenly exploded inward. Armed soldiers poured in, weapons aimed at both Lyra and the creature. Capture the Terran, commanded a new voice. A massive Dravax general entered. His armor was decorated with countless battle honors. If she can control void predators, she's too valuable to kill. But too dangerous to let free. The void predator roared again. It tensed, ready to fight an entire army. And Lyra felt something break inside her. Not break. Awaken. Her eyes began to glow golden. Golden light filled the hangar. It radiated from Lyra's eyes, washing over the assembled soldiers. They hesitated, weapons lowering slightly. Something primal inside them recognized danger. The Dravax general snarled. I gave you an order. Capture her now. Nobody moved. What are you waiting for? The general roared. She's just one human. No, Commander Vex said quietly. She's not. Lyra felt power coursing through her veins. The transformation was complete. Her body had changed. Stronger. Faster. Her senses were so sharp she could hear conversations 3 corridors away. She could smell the fear radiating from every alien in the room. Now you understand, the void predator said in her mind. This is what you truly are. I don't want to hurt anyone, Lyra said. Her voice carried authority now. Command. But I won't be captured. The general laughed. You think you have a choice? There are 50 soldiers in this hangar. You cannot. The void predator moved. It didn't attack. It simply positioned itself beside Lyra. Then it did something nobody expected. It knelt. Not in submission. In service. Impossible, Dr. Valen whispered. Void predators don't serve. They dominate or they kill. We serve the Alpha, the creature's voice echoed in Lyra's mind. And you are Alpha now. More alarms blared through the facility. New voices shouted over the communications system. Additional containment breach. Multiple breaches. All specimens are loose. On the hangar's display screens, security footage appeared. Throughout the facility, other captured creatures were breaking free. Not just void predators. Dozens of different species. All the galaxy's most dangerous predators. And they were all moving in the same direction. Toward Lyra. This is a catastrophe, General Tira's voice crackled through the speakers. Seal all sections. Contain the outbreak. Kill everything that resists. But the creatures didn't resist. They simply moved through the facility with purpose. Guards tried to stop them and were swept aside without violence. The predators had one goal. Within minutes, the hangar filled with monsters. A pack of 6-legged shadow stalkers prowled through the broken doors. Their eyes glowed red in the darkness. Behind them came razor wings, their metallic feathers catching the light. A massive stone behemoth crashed through a wall, its armored hide impervious to weapons' fire. The soldiers backed away terrified. They had weapons designed to kill these creatures. But facing so many at once was suicide. The predators ignored the soldiers completely. They approached Lyra and one by one they knelt. "What's happening?" Krax whispered. His voice shook. "Why are they all bowing to her?" Dr. Valen's scanner was going wild. The biosignature. It's not just void predator DNA. It's universal predator coding. Something ancient that all apex species share. "Explain," the general demanded. "Earth," Dr. Valen said slowly. "We always thought it was a standard Class M world. Peaceful. Safe. But what if we were wrong? What if Earth was where predator evolution perfected itself?" He pulled up data on the display screens. Images of Earth's history appeared. Dinosaurs. Saber-toothed cats. Megalodon sharks. Prehistoric terror birds. Giant crocodiles. And dozens more. Earth has produced more apex predators than any known world, Dr. Valen continued. Every extinction event created new, deadlier species. The planet itself is a forge. It creates killers. And humans survived it all, Tix added quietly. They didn't just survive. They conquered. They became the apex predator of a world full of apex predators. The general's claws scraped against his weapon. Then humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. No, Lyra said. Every eye turned to her. Humans chose differently. We could have remained predators. But we chose cooperation. Community. Civilization. Yet here you stand, the general growled. Commanding an army of monsters. Lyra looked at the creatures surrounding her. They were terrifying. Deadly. But they weren't evil. They were simply what evolution had made them. Survivors. "I'm not commanding them," she said. "I'm offering them something they've never had. A choice." She stepped forward. The void predator moved with her, a massive shadow at her back. The other creatures rose and followed. "For billions of years, predators have fought for survival," Lyra continued. "They've killed to eat. Killed to protect territory. Killed because that's what predators do. But humans learned something different." She met the general's eyes. "We learned that the strongest predator isn't the one who kills the most. It's the one who protects the most." "Protect." The general laughed. "You're surrounded by killing machines." "Yes," Lyra said calmly. "And every one of them will protect this galaxy. If you let them." Silence filled the hangar. The proposal was insane. Use the galaxy's most dangerous predators as protectors? General Tira's voice cut through the quiet. "And what's to stop them from turning on us? From slaughtering innocent species?" Lyra smiled. Her golden eyes gleamed. "Me." She raised her hand. Every creature in the hangar responded instantly. They stopped moving. Stopped breathing. They became living statues awaiting her command. "Humans spent millions of years learning to control our predator instincts," Lyra said. "We can teach them too. We can create something new. Not prey hiding from predators. Not predators hunting prey. But protectors keeping the peace." Dr. Valen stepped forward. "I believe her. The data supports it. If anyone can bridge the gap between predator and civilization, it's humans." Commander Vex nodded slowly. She did save her squad. Even when they treated her as worthless. Even Krax spoke up, his voice grudging. "The Terran has honor. I was wrong about her." The general was silent for a long moment. Finally he lowered his weapon. "This decision is above my authority. High Command will decide your fate." "Fair enough," Lyra said. She lowered her hand. The creatures relaxed but remained close. Weeks passed. Debates raged across the Galactic Council. Some demanded Lyra's execution. Others wanted to study her. A few visionaries saw possibility. In the end, a compromise was reached. The Predator Corps was born. Lyra became its first commander. Under her leadership, the galaxy's deadliest creatures became its greatest protectors. They hunted pirates. They defended border worlds. They became legends. And humanity? The galaxy finally understood. Humans weren't weak prey pretending to be civilized. They were apex predators who chose mercy over massacre. And that made them the most dangerous species of all. Years later, Lyra stood on the bridge of the Predator Corps flagship. The Void Predator stood beside her as always. In the viewport, stars stretched endlessly. "Ready for the next mission?" she asked. The creature's golden eyes gleamed. Always alpha. Always. They jumped to warp. Protectors heading into the unknown. Predators serving the light. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humans were never the prey. They were something far more terrifying. They were the